Hear ye, hear ye, hear ye. Welcome to the Dukes of Gaming podcast. This week, for no reason in particular, I'm your host, Taylor Clams, Duke of Nostalgia, because I remember it because you don't want to. With me are my co-hosts, the luxurious Dukes, I'll call you. You're looking all so fine today. So why don't we start it off? Thomas, Duke of Anime, how are you doing today?
This feels awkward. I've never been asked that before on this podcast.
First time for everything.
Yeah, first time for everything. I'm doing well. I can't complain. Been a long week, but a good week. Played some good video games and played a very shitty one, but we'll get into it.
Beautiful, beautiful. Cole, our Duke of Rocket League, how you doing?
Good. Been playing Sea of Thieves. Did some streaming. Excited to be here.
Good. I'm glad someone's excited to be here. Let's see if the Duke of Design, Ben, is excited to be here.
Glams, you put the bitter in bittersweet memories. That's all I'll say about your nostalgia. I got myself some sake, so I'm ready for this podcast.
Hey, nice webcam, Ben.
You're getting some
shout outs.
Thanks for the recommend.
Yeah, the chat even recognized it.
Yeah.
Are you perchance drinking manga sake?
I have no idea what I'm drinking.
Okay.
But I know it's sake.
Beautiful.
They just give it to him for free. He just drinks it.
That's fair. Well, speaking of free things, Duke of Education, Alfredo, how are you doing?
I'm doing great. Education is typically free, and I'll talk a little bit about that, how it's not so free in the games I'm playing. If that makes sense. Doesn't right now, but stay tuned. We'll learn as we go.
Doesn't make sense at all.
Nope.
But you know what? Why don't we start with you? What are you playing this week? Maybe it'll make sense after we hear from you. What have you been playing this week?
What am I playing? That's a loaded question. So I'm actually playing two different games, and they both recently came out. So I'm playing a game called Lost Ark, which is an MMO, as well as I'm playing a little something called Sifu, which is a PS5 exclusive on console, but also came to Epic Games on PC. So I'll start with Lost Ark because that is an MMO that has been so highly anticipated by every MMO lover. I have pretty much played not every MMO, but all the popular ones. So Final Fantasy 14, Lost Ark, this one. even back to the early days of Wizards 101 and Toontown. I've done them all. So I've been anticipating this because Lost Ark has actually been an MMO that has been a real MMO for 4 years now in Korea. It's a Korean MMO, and it's been out over there, and it has finally got its Western release over here. So it came out on Friday, so yesterday, and I hopped on. It's a free-to-play game. And this game is so special, or appeared to be so special at least, because it is in the style of Diablo, where it's kind of like a top-down type of view. You got all of your different classes, whether it be mage, warrior, all of that, all the classic warrior, or all the classic World of Warcraft kind of classes, or whatever MMO it may be, but very, very Diablo inspired as it seems. But the action itself is probably unprecedented in terms of an MMO, I would say. So just to get right into it, I've been playing all day today and pretty much all I have been able to yesterday. And this MMO changes the game like big time, and in terms of what MMOs have done and can do in the future. So it's special because the first thing I want to do is the character creation. Character creation is great. You got all sorts of different customizable things for your character, whether it be classes, whether it be, just facial, how your character looks. But how it works is basically there are 15 different classes. There are technically like 6 or 7 big classes and then 3 subclasses. And the way the game works is that once it throws you into, okay, I want to be a gunner class. All right, which 3 gunners do you want to be? Do you want to be like a sniper subclass specifically? Do you want to be an artillerist, or do you want to be a bow and arrow type of guy? And the great thing about this is that you can try out every single class and what it would be on like max level, so level 50, before you actually commit to choosing it. So it allows you to do that and try out all those skills, which is really cool.
Now, did you say there were classes within classes? There were subclasses.
Yes. So there are subclasses, and you do pick your subclass from the start, which is an odd decision from the beginning of an MMO. You don't just go to you start at level 10. And level 10 is when you're supposed to pick your subclass. So you automatically just pick your subclass. And the subclasses are so different from each other that they're really just different classes altogether. I tried like I tried like half of them, and all of them were so incredibly distinct that it was pretty impressive, to be honest.
Nice.
So great on that. As far as the actual gameplay, good.
I was going to ask you about the gameplay, so you read my mind.
Yeah, so as far as the actual gameplay, this is where the Diablo-ness comes in, and they're throwing hordes of enemies at you at a time, and you are just tearing them apart. There's actually blood in this game, which is kind of awesome. Like, you are literally decapitating and slicing people in half and piercing them and all of that.
All of your favorite things.
Yeah, exactly.
Pro decapitation. Yep.
Game looks beautiful, first of all, for an MMO especially. It's on the lines of Final Fantasy 14, which also looks beautiful. Game looks beautiful. It is incredibly fun. The gameplay, they constantly reward you for leveling up. So, and how that works is that you have all of your different skills, but when as you level up, you might have like 4 skills, and you can equip a max of 8 skills at a time. So once you fill out all 8, let's say you get to level 20, you have all 8 skills. Well, the cool thing is that there's more to unlock. All the way to level 50, you're continually gaining skills in your class. So you can swap out, you can only have 8 at a time. So you're picking which 8 of those skills that you've unlocked. It might be 20 in all for a single class. You're picking and swapping what's your perfect build and what you want it to be. And you can also, there's skill points whenever you level up. So you're leveling up the specific skills that you like to use and you want to use, and for them to be more powerful.
Nice.
Yeah.
That sounds like a nice thing for MMOs. Like, it sounds like overwhelming at first, but it sounds like a good amount of freedom of choice.
Yeah, it seems a little bit overwhelming, but I would definitely say the way that they ease you into it, this MMO does a great job at easing you into every possible category of MMO-ness of what it strives to do. So the battle system, it eases you into it with all those skills. It tells you, okay, we have this layer, and then when you get 3-4 levels later, we're going to add another layer. So you have even more customized things, because there are actually more customized things for the skills. Like you can customize it down to the granular setting of, okay, this specific skill does this at first, but after you invest this many skill points, you can choose out of 3 different additional effects what you want it to do more. And those it kind of does a layering in that effect, if that makes sense. It just gives you so many options.
Now, that sounds all great and all, but real quick, how's the player base?
Well, first I want to talk about, so the launch was not great for free to play.
Oh.
The launch was not great because what they did was they said, hey, you guys can pay for this for early access for if you pay like a founder's pack, and you can get it open. You can get in the game 5 days early, something like that.
Yeah.
People like me who didn't want to pay at all, we had to wait till Friday. So I waited, and then they basically, when it was free to play, they blew up the servers, and they fixed it within a matter of hours. But unlike many other games, like Amazon's other MMO, what was that called? Lost World? Something like that.
Yeah.
Something like that. When that came out, the queue times were insane. Same thing for Final Fantasy 14. When Endwalker came out, queue times were insane. This one, I have not had a single instance where I had to wait in a loading. New World. That's what it was called.
World. There we go.
That's
so
awesome.
no queue times at all. I've just been able to pick a world that's not that populated. All of them are busy, but I have not had to wait in a queue to play the game.
Heck, I think that sells the game. No queue time.
It's free to play, so everyone should definitely play this. And I've been playing multiplayer, and the dungeons are awesome so far. They're actually pretty challenging. They have different difficulties, kind of like World of Warcraft, where if you pick hard mode, you get better gear. They can be pretty challenging. They're incredibly fun. They're not just you click, click, click one button until it's dead. No, you actually like have to move and use different skills. And
it's involved.
Nice. Yes, it's evolved. Very cool.
You said there's dismemberment in the game?
There is dismemberment. I'm a paladin.
Your ears perked
and I am chopping people in half all the time.
I can't find this game, but there was a game either on PlayStation 2 or PlayStation 3, and it was a swordplay game, and it had dismemberment, and it was incredible. And I was just thinking, like, no games have had dismemberment since then, really. Like, maybe as finishing moves or something, but like true dismemberment system. Like, why is that? I mean, I guess it's just extremely hard. I'm sure the Duke of Design could
probably diminishing returns, right? Like, it's harder to implement, and a lot of people don't like it, right?
No, but
I don't actually know if you can turn it off.
Alfredo loves it.
In a swordplay game, that'd be incredible.
One of the games that I remember that had dismemberment in it that I love is Jedi Knight 2 and Jedi Academy.
I can't believe that Star Wars game had
it did. Yep. This is the LucasArts era. I mean, like, a person's arm gets chopped off within the first 30 minutes of A New Hope. So
it's true.
Dismemberment and Star Wars kind of go hand in hand. But
there's no blood either.
It's not kids
it off. Yeah, exactly. It cauterizes it, so there's no blood. Yeah, Disney would never allow that now. And in fact, they expressly did not allow it in what was it? Jedi Fallen Order.
But didn't Snoke get cut in twain?
Yes.
So
in twain. But yeah, as far as like dismemberment in games goes, like, it is a difficult challenge, especially for animation. Because if you cut off, especially when you're cutting off the legs, like, so we did dismemberment in Saints and Sinners, and we only allowed you to cut off the arms and head of the zombies. Because if you're able to cut off the legs of the zombies, that's a whole different animation state that needs to be accounted for. Whereas if the legs get cut off, if the arms get cut off, the zombies would still act as if they had arms that they could grab you with.
They're just
they don't know the difference.
They're just zombies.
Yeah, exactly. And when the head gets cut off, it's game over. There's no zombie. The body crumples to the ground. Although we did have to stay true to the Walking Dead IP. So when you cut off the head, unless you destroy the brain, the mouth still moves and stuff.
Oh, that's cool.
Well,
but yeah, like dismemberment is a difficult problem. It is very satisfying when you can get it right, but I mean, like, where do you allow the dismemberment to happen? Do you force it to be at like a socket? Do you allow it at any part in the limb? I mean, like, and every single extra level of granularity that you're adding there feels good, but adds complexity to the whole thing.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Well,
anyway, it is a big problem.
That begs the question, Alfredo: is it satisfying?
It is very satisfying.
Awesome. All right, so it's a satisfying game where you can cut people up. Perfect.
Exactly.
Well, I want to ask you about Sifu, because this is Slow Clap's second game? How is it?
A little more than second, I believe. Maybe third.
Slow Clap hasn't made a lot.
Absolver was before this, but I'm not for sure if they had a game before that.
I don't know if they had anything before that. I don't think they did.
Well, I'll tell you a little bit about their second, maybe third game. Who knows?
Okay.
But yeah, so I've been very eagerly anticipating Sifu, which is the PS5 exclusive beat 'em up martial arts simulator. At least that's what it seemed to be from when it was first showed, I believe, a couple of years ago at E3 or a State of Play or something. So this is a 3D beat 'em up game. So I got the game when it first came out, and I heard from a couple of the reviews that it was a very brutal game, and a lot of people were comparing it to Dark Souls. I'm the only one who's been playing this game, right? Just want to make sure. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Out of the Dukes, anyway.
And and before you go, this is their second game according to the website.
Okay. So their second game. Yeah, so I've been very eagerly anticipating it because it's right on my wheelhouse. I love martial arts. I've done martial arts for a good long part of my life. I even went to a very traditional martial arts school where I had to do chores and the whole shebang. So,
Alfredo, question. Do you think you could beat each of the other Dukes up?
Yeah,
martial arts.
You could
definitely so. He's like a black belt. What are you? Give us a little bit of background.
Hey, let me review this game. Let me review this game. We'll talk about
I think Cole's scrappy. I think Cole could take you.
No. Anyway,
I'm not technical at all.
We'll talk about this later. So yeah, all that to say, I was very, very excited for this game, and even more when I heard of its comparisons to Dark Souls, because I do like harder challenges in Dark Souls-y games as well. So I picked up this game on release, and it kicked my ass so hard that it was the first time that I've ever had in my video game life that I was like, I don't know if I can finish this game. I don't know. I don't think this game is for me, to be honest, because the game was so incredibly hard that I did not foresee any possible way of finishing it. So the whole first day, I was getting my ass kicked, okay? Like, bad. So I think this game does have 5 levels in total, and I could not get past the first level, like even the regular goods.
Wait, there's only 5 levels?
Only 5 levels.
But they're apparently hard.
Are they long levels? I mean, like...
They're good bits. So I put the game down, and I said, I want to like this game. I'm going to pick it up tomorrow and I'm going to try it again. And if I can't get it, then this will be one of those games that just not for me. So I picked it up the next day and I said, okay, I'm going to try this a different way. And I tried playing the game a different way than I initially did. So what the game does is it teaches you in the very beginning, it has a tutorial of sorts, and it teaches you, hey, okay, here's the dodge button. Here is the move down button for these types of moves. Here's how to jump if somebody tries to sweep your leg or whatever. Like, these are the basic game play elements. All right. So I said, okay, instead of using the dedicated dodge button, I'm going to do this instead and see how it works. And that simple change changed my entire outlook on the game. I was able to read the enemy's movements and actually say, okay, I can actually get this. Like, this isn't that hard. And the problem I have with this game is that since then I've actually finished Sifu and I beat the whole game. There's more to go, which I will definitely be doing, but I was able to complete all 5 levels. And I realized in doing so was that this game has an incredibly high learning curve that I haven't really seen. And it's to the point where it's not that the game is hard, but it does a very bad job teaching you how to play the game. Because
what exactly was the change that you made that unlocked the game for you?
Yeah, so in the tutorial they say, okay, here's the dedicated dodge button. What they never tell you ever was that there are other ways to dodge. The dodge button that they give you is where it takes extremely long to dodge. You make like this very big move where you can easily get hit. Like people can follow you even when you dodge, quote unquote. But there's a way where you can basically the duck and jump buttons for if people try to come at you a certain way. They don't tell you this, but you can also use it to dodge out of the way. There's also a dedicated parry button, and in the tutorial that they kind of teach you, okay, this is, or lead you to believe that this is a parry type of game, like kind of like Sekiro, where you're parrying block after block after block. Like that's how you're supposed to play this game. And the parry button is very, very, very strict timing that is incredibly hard to get. But the dodge that they don't tell you about is more forgiving in a way that you can actually, you don't have to have split second accuracy, and you can have a little bit of leeway in order to read your opponent's movements. So after I figured out, okay, there's actually a better way to utilize these game systems that the developers don't tell, or the game doesn't teach you, I started having a lot of fun, to the point where it's probably one of my game of the year contenders when all is said and done. Because I've never played a beat 'em up like this that teaches you, or that you go from student truly to master, because the game does expect you to learn every enemy pattern, every movement that you need to do, every single situation that you need to master in order to be ready to all of these varying opponents. So I'm used to all of these 2D side scroller beat 'em ups, and this is the next evolution of what that is. And I really do feel like if they could just put out a patch to teach people better, change the tutorial where you teach people the best way to play this game, or at least make it more clear that people have more options, then it won't drive away people. But as it is, you really have to say, okay, I'm going to master this and figure things out yourself in order to really enjoy it. So you kind of have to butt heads with the game. But if you do that, and if you get past that, this game is very, very good. I love this game. Now, I'm playing it over and over. I love it.
Now, Alfredo, I have 3 questions for you.
Go for it.
1, taking off my host outfit right now to slip it off. You have said many times before on this show, all the things you just stated about this game, you claimed were negatives in Metroid Dread.
Oh, gosh.
I'm just saying. Do the enemies telegraph their moves well?
That's a really hard question. So I would say at first, no, they don't. But after I forced myself to play it more and more, I started really paying attention, just facing off against those enemies over and over. Because what this game does is it's kind of like a time loop game in a really odd manner. So what this is that you are a 20-year-old martial artist. Every single time that you die, your age goes up and you are revived. So if I'm 20, I die. Okay, I come back as 21 for my next life. But every time you die, your death counter gets higher and higher. So that was my first time dying. So now I go from 1 death to 2 deaths. So if I die again, then my death counter will go up 2. So instead of 22, I'll be 23. So it's kind of exponentially growing.
How does that change
the
game?
Age.
Like, do you get slower?
It changes the game because the older you get, the more times you die, you're going to start rapidly aging if you just keep dying over and over. Like, you're going to get to a point where your death counter is at 8. And the next time you die, you go up by 8 years of your life. And the older you get, you are... You do get stronger because you learn as a Kung Fu master that how to damage people. So your damage actually goes up. But at the same time, the older you get, your actual maximum health bar gets lower. So it's a give and take there. But there is a cap on how old you can get. So once you reach your 70s, that's your last life period. And if that's the case,
how bad are
then
you in the 70s?
die.
Like, are you really slow?
No, you're the same speed. The only thing that literally changes is your damage and your maximum HP. So you'll have the least amount of HP you can get, but you also do mega damage. And the interesting concept of this game is, okay, so stage 1, there's 5 stages, like I said before. The first stage, okay, I beat the boss when I'm 47, let's say. If I'm that lucky, I beat him when I'm 47. At the start of stage 2, I will start that stage forever as if I'm 47. So you don't start when you're 20 anymore. You start with the 47. And you have to get through all 5 stages before you end up with your last life. So if I ended the first stage at age 72, I only have 1 life to go for the entire 5 stages.
That's a really cool level up mechanic.
Yeah. So what you have to do is it continuously challenges you to be like, oh man, I beat this stage at age 50. I need to replay it and get better. So I beat the game, or I beat the stage at a way lower age so that I can have more age to go in order to get to the final level, because I won't make it. Right. So it challenges you to go back and replay and remaster those concepts so you can not die as much and therefore get to the last level without dying.
That genuinely sounds like quite a fun experience. That does sound very fun.
It is. At first I was regretting it because it sounded like it might not be so fun, but it actually was, because it really forced me to master the actual mechanics and really see, okay, the enemy patterns and what I need to do to beat every specific enemy and their unique.
You really feel attacks. Like a martial artist.
Yeah, to become a Sifu yourself.
That's awesome. Now, did it help you to already be a master of martial arts?
Me personally, I wouldn't say I'm not a master, first of all, but I would say that this game does definitely take the approach of actually having done martial arts or being in that sort of mindset, because it does require a lot of patience on the player's part to play this game and not get frustrated in saying, okay, that was a cheap shot. That was, it's a Dark Souls, like some things are just totally unfair. No, I would say after playing this game, nothing is really unfair. It just requires you to really study each enemy and master the mechanics.
Nice. I'm still upset about you because that sounds like Metroid Dread, but I will move on. Thank you for your review of Sifu. I really want to try it now, so
I will be streaming it. I'm gonna be getting the platinum, so I'll be streaming it on Monday.
Good plug. Everyone tune in and watch.
Doesn't the platinum involve you? You have to go through the whole game by age 25.
It sure does. I can do it.
Oof. All right. Yes, you can.
I can do it
on stream on the Dukes of Gaming live stream. Yep. Tune in Monday, and Alfredo will beat the game in one sitting.
Sure.
Restrictions may apply. Let's move on real quick. Speaking of streaming, real quick, I want to give a big round of applause. The most viewed video on the Dukes of Gaming YouTube channel was a live stream by Ben just a few hours ago. A Doom stream. I know you don't want to talk about Doom, but how was your streaming experience?
It was fun. It was really fun. It was the first time I've ever live streamed a game before, so it was a fun time. I have no idea why it's the most viewed video on our channel right now. I guess
people love Doom.
People love Doom, exactly. But yeah, I'll definitely be doing it again. So sometime this week. I'm not sure. Not sure when I'll be back on, but yeah, it was great. And I didn't want to talk about Doom too much, except to say that Eternal is like more of the same with 2016. So I feel like 2016 Eternal is definitely for you. I have some gripes with it. I think like there's more complexity in the game than there need be, but I also don't just want Doom 2016 over again. So I'm kind of like conflicted right now as to whether there's too much change in this game or there needed to be some. So this is like the necessary.
Yeah, wasn't that kind of the beauty of Doom 2016? It was like simple and just action packed, straightforward.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I think there was an elegant simplicity to 2016 that this game loses a little bit with its extra complexity. However, it is still well worth playing.
How's the music?
Oh, good question.
Excellent.
The game is so. I was watching Ben play. It's so hardcore. It's like I told him. I said it screams PC gaming. It's just Mountain Dew PC gaming. Like
it's twitchy as hell. Yeah, it's twitchy.
It's almost like hard to watch because it's so fast. Like, really? I don't even know if I'd like it. I never played Doom 2016, and I don't know if I'd like that being so fast paced. But I guess it's different when you're playing. I don't know.
Well, how's the grapple hook?
It's not that present. It's only available on one gun. So if you're not using the super shotgun, then you don't have access to the meat hook. But there is a lot of other kind of traversal elements that are in the game, more like the dashes and ability to grapple onto walls and mantle, that kind of thing. So you're like constantly moving around all over the play spaces and yeah, so the mobility feels really good, even though there could be more grappling hook because the grappling hook is very fun.
Yes, I remember that from 2016. I loved the grapple hook in 2016. So, well, cool.
I don't recall there being a grappling hook. I'm calling bullshit on that one.
Really, I remember. I remember playing with the grapple hook in 2016.
Oh, did you? Okay.
Yeah,
I don't recall.
We need a fact check.
Mandela fact check that. Maybe I played Eternal and I don't remember.
Right.
Yeah. While we're fact checking that, another streamer on our channel now is Cole. Cole, you've been playing Sea of Thieves. Anything else, or do you just want to talk about Sea of Thieves?
Destiny 2, but we talked about that last time.
Yeah,
I'm just in the middle of the Forsaken content, and I'm gonna try to finish the Sea of bounce back and forth between those two until Horizon comes out this week. So, anyway,
can't wait.
So I've been doing the Pirate's Life content. And once I finish that, I'm gonna quit Sea of Thieves for the foreseeable future.
Why?
Forever.
You don't
just because I love the game, but it's better with friends. You know, if any of y'all want to play it, I'd love to play it, but like it's just not that good. It's not that fun by yourself.
We have abandoned Cole.
Yeah, y'all have. God, I said on the stream probably 8 times. Man, I probably sounded so sad because I was like, man, this game is just it's so much more fun with friends. And I was hitting up everybody on the Discord. Nobody was taking my bait. But even to that fact too, a rando joined my game, and I was trying to communicate with him, and he didn't have a keyboard. Actually, no, he was playing. I mean, not a keyboard, a headset. He was playing on xCloud, so he turned on his. He was playing on his mobile phone. He turned on his mobile phone for like a half second, and it was like real echoey because you could hear the volume of the game. He was like, "I'm playing on xCloud, something, whatever." So I left him and went and played by myself.
Wow,
he couldn't even hardly move. He was like moving sideways, couldn't get on the ship and stuff. But so the content was pretty awesome. Like the first, I'm a big Pirates of the Caribbean fan. Like specifically the first movie. The other one's not really that much, but I watched them all. But the first movie is one of my favorite movies, like ever. I love it. So the content is pretty incredible. There's a part in there where there's like all these Easter eggs. So I guess it's like a tie-in. Ben, you were asking if it was licensed. Did you not know this? That they partnered with Disney for this?
No, I didn't realize that there was a Pirates of the Caribbean DLC.
So they partnered with Pirates of the Caribbean, so it's all the licensed characters and everything. It's none of the real voice actors. They're all like
that. Okay.
Yeah, they're it's not definitely. Now the Tia Dalma, which is the voodoo lady, she sounds identical. I think she may be the real actor, but Jack Sparrow is definitely not, and I don't think any of the other ones are. But anyway, you go and you sail through like this portal, and then you go through like the Forsaken Seas where like there's all these ghosts and stuff, and you come into this this epic like island where all these like ghosts are, and it's basically bringing you through these caves and everything. A ghost is like leading you through there, and there's all these inside like Easter eggs like about the Disney ride. Like there's several scenes that look like the actual Disneyland ride, and you get to a part of it, and there's these ghost pirates in a tavern, and they're singing the exact Disneyland song, like the sound. Like they recorded it and put it in there. I thought that was pretty awesome. But it felt pretty epic. And you meet up with Jack Sparrow at the end of the first episode. And then your next one is to go and find the Black Pearl at the bottom of the sea, the pirate ship.
Mm-hmm.
And it's all like really story based, not much combat at all. And it's all like puzzle. It's like little puzzles and stuff. So it's kind of fresh. It's kind of different than what you usually get there.
I will say that's probably better that it doesn't exactly rely on the combat, because when we were playing it, it didn't seem like that was the main focus of the game, like its strong suit. And I was actually playing a little bit of Dying Light 2 with my buddy some more today, actually. And I was comparing it to Sea of Thieves directly, because they seem like very, very similar games in what they're trying to go for combat-wise. But Dying Light does it so much better, because they also have melee combat with the swords, with whatever melee weapons, but their parrying system is awesome. They have a whole skill tree for like what you can do with your melee weapons and just melee combat. And it doesn't seem like Sea of Thieves has that. So I wish
it doesn't.
They did.
So I know, I do too. And I think that's a problem with the game. So they give you all the basic stuff. You have the blunderbuss, the pistol, and you have your main sword, and then you have like a single shot pistol is like more accurate, and you can't upgrade anything. And they did that because they want to level the playing field for everybody. So you can't upgrade, like Call of Duty style, like get attachments and all the stuff, like,
and then steal everyone's treasure.
Yeah. So the only way you can upgrade is cosmetic, which to me that sucks, because the game's combat is really poor. Like it's awful. It's really awful. It's not fun at all. But the game is so good, And I will say the downside of the story content is that there is no emergent gameplay. And that's where Sea of Thieves shines to me, is with the other players and being on the ocean and dealing with storms and things like that. But like this is so scripted. Like I did a battle where when you have a battle with another player's ship, it's incredible because everything is dynamic.
Yeah.
But like this is so scripted that it's like the ship comes up and you hit it 3 times and you can see the animation takes over and takes it down, and then like, so that's the weakness of it. But
that's
I guess I don't know.
Well, you did mention to me that I should play it. I would like it. I know I would. I used to be such a huge fan of Rare. Who wasn't a huge fan of Rare in their heyday? And then they fell off making super snowboarders for Xbox Connect. And like,
well, this game is special. Like, I think y'all should definitely play it. Ben, do you have it? You have Xbox Game Pass?
Yeah, I have Game Pass right now, but I have not downloaded Sea of Thieves. I have very limited hard drive space on my PC, so I have to be choosy.
Look, it's worth it. It's definitely worth it to try it and play it at least for a night to get the feel of it. Like Alfredo got it. You could see the special, like what was special about it.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, like I said, the combat not where it's special, but the idea of just roaming the islands and open seas, going to find the treasure, following treasure maps, and like saying, okay, 9 steps west, go here, going on the sail on the sea with your ship. That's like where the specialness comes from this game.
And the stakes are high. You physically put the treasure chest on your ship. You have to get it back to the port. If someone else takes your ship down, they steal all your treasure. So it's like the ultimate pirate game.
No, it sounds like a blast, and I really do need to play. I just like Ben, my computer is not up to chuff to play that right now. If I had an Xbox, I would play it right away, but I don't. So alas, I will definitely try to play it with you at some time, Cole. 100%. I did double check it. It is Doom Eternal I had played. I bought it in the summer of 2020. I thought I bought a used version of the 2016 version, and it also feels like I played it 10 years ago. But no, it was 2020. Anyway, I digress. I suppose I can talk a little bit about Pokemon while we try to get Thomas back. Can one of you beautiful boys message Thomas, see if he's
he is on the way.
Excellent. So let me just give a little talk about Pokemon Legends Arceus, and I do want to real quick mention that I am planning on doing a more in-depth review of Pokemon, but I wanted to wait till I 100% of the game, and I'm very close because every single review I've seen on the internet of Pokemon Legends Arceus is titled "My Initial Thoughts," my first thoughts, because everyone who reviews video games is a hack.
Including us,
especially us, mostly us. But no, I wanted to complete the game 100% because that's really how to play Pokemon. It's a collectathon. You want to collect them all. So you can't really review the game until you've done everything you can.
Do you always catch them all?
No, not recently. Okay. Not recently. The last game I caught them all in was Pokemon Emerald for the Game Boy. Yeah, no, you've played Pokemon games. You can't be bothered to catch them all in any of them. No.
Too expensive. Those Pokemon balls are not cheap.
Yeah. They're not cheap in this game, but in Pokemon Legends Arceus, but you do really feel like you're earning your way through this world because it's taking place in the past of Pokemon, so everything's a little bit more expensive, except for gold. Gold's way more valuable than it is in other games. So you can earn money fast by grinding and collecting rare items, and you can also build Pokeballs in this game, which is a very cool way of getting the necessary tools to catch them all. I will say now that I've finished the main storyline of the game, and it ends on a dud. It's a bit of a dud. It's a bit of a letdown. I don't know if I'm just too good at Pokemon, but it seemed really easy to beat the last 2 bosses.
Oh, really?
Yeah. But then the post game comes in and says, you're not really done with the story. You got a little bit more to do. The credits rolled, but you got a little bit more to do to get to Arceus. You got to get to God. You got to get to God. And the real final boss battle, or second to last boss battle, is tough for a Pokemon game. Normally Pokemon games hold your hand, and they may have done this on purpose because they hold your hand, and every time you finish a battle, they heal up your team. Like, oh, you're all healthy. Not this time. This time you fight an opponent with 8 Pokemon on his team instead of 6.
Not 6.
You only have 6, but he's got 8.
Okay.
And you battle him with your team of 6, and he's already got a tough team. Then he calls on 1 extra Pokemon to come help him. That's a legendary Pokemon. What? And that legendary Pokemon comes in, and you just battled a really tough trainer. You don't get healed up. And then you beat that legendary Pokemon. And the legendary Pokemon says, no, you didn't. You got to beat me again.
Wow, they really
doesn't heal you up.
Really going for it.
Dang, they really made this final boss battle feel pretty cool. Weak point of it, I have to say, is the music. The boss battle music sounds really stupid and goofy for a final boss.
That's usually a strong point in Pokemon.
Yeah, exactly. Their music's usually on point. The music for the other boss battles in the game is on point, but this last one just feels like it was just they didn't really have good communication between the music team and the story team.
I have a question.
Yeah,
for when the credits rolled, and you obviously were not satisfied with how it ended, but are satisfied that it's keep going.
Yeah.
Was it how did you feel about it ending there? Like, what in rolling credits and then them saying, "Hey, you need to continue the story." Like, do you feel that's justified? Like, why do you think that they rolled credits and then said, "Let's continue the story"? Why didn't they just have them continue it if it's not satisfying? My question, I guess.
Because it's good. It's a good story for a Pokemon game. Pokemon games don't have great stories, but this one is basically how I would summarize it is, I don't know if I mentioned this to a guy in a bar or to you guys, but the story in this game is basically your religion doesn't matter if Satan exists, which is kind of weird. Your main difficulty through the game is there are these 2 warring, or not warring, but unhappy with each other clans that both think that their god is the real god. Their god is Arceus, but they don't know that their god actually isn't Arceus. It's Dialga or Palkia, both pretending to be Arceus to get more worshippers.
Wow, that is deep for a Pokemon game.
Spoilers.
Didn't see that coming.
Let me ask you this. Go ahead, finish your thought.
Oh no.
How
I
is
was just listening.
What is rated M? Like, this
No.
can't be rated E for
No,
everyone.
it's a very kiddie version of religions
that.
fighting against each other. Specifically,
Wow.
religions that believe the exact same thing, but have infighting. It makes sense for a Pokemon game. The last time the writer of this game worked in a Pokemon game, which was Black and White 2, he wrote about the efficacies of capturing Pokemon and making them fight. That was the story of Black and White 2. Was the evil team in that game said it's unethical to make Pokemon fight. They were the bad guys.
And then you beat them up.
And then you beat them up and you send one of them to the Shadow
want.
Realm. Yeah. But yeah, then it makes sense that this time he was like, yeah, let's do a story about religion. So I think the story ends. The two clans find out that their gods are actually not the same, not the real god. They're faux gods masquerading as the real god. And they both go, maybe we shouldn't hate each other too much. And credits roll.
Friendship.
Turns out there was another guy sitting on the sidelines, masterminding the whole thing, making them fight each other specifically to get Satan to show up.
Wow.
The Pokemon equivalent of Satan.
Wow.
So
which is Arceus?
No, which is Giratina. Giratina is
okay.
Yeah, the real god is Arceus. That's the final boss, and I haven't gotten there yet. You have to do a lot to get to Arceus. You gotta. I don't know if you have to 100% the Pokedex, but I think you do. Nothing triggered when I showed up. But here's Thomas. I think that's enough of my thoughts on Pokemon. I will hopefully have a more in-depth review of the goods, the bads, and the uglies of Pokemon Legends Arceus at some point in the coming 2 weeks. But Thomas, do you hear us? Not yet.
Check 1 2 1.
He's coming through. He's coming through.
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can. Can you hear us?
Yeah. So informally, I am the Duke of Disconnect today.
Apparently. Sorry, Thomas.
My whole computer died. So I had to just relocate to a different computer.
That's unlucky.
Unfortunately,
Hopefully
but
you get it fixed.
Hopefully, but as far as what I've been playing, is it my turn? Just want to make sure.
Yes, it is your turn. Take it away.
Don't want to step on anybody's shoes. So I have been playing 2 games this week. I'll talk about the good one first because it'll be a little quicker. I've been playing Destiny 2 Beyond Light. So I want to thank Ben for getting us into this series of I played the first Destiny a long time ago, played through the first, before you have to start grinding, and it didn't connect with me. And so I'm not going to come back to this franchise. I have spent probably 15 hours playing this game since we first started, getting back into it. I'm in love with the entire just grinding format of everything, going through your bounties, going to different planets, going to find different lost sectors, leveling up your guns, upgrading your guns, upgrading some of the rare guns you get, getting those, and then just upgrading the exotics you have, going to the different planets, seeing all these different landscapes and the attention to detail that each place has. I just had a really good time with this game. I think it's funny how Alfredo was talking about Lost Ark. I believe that Destiny has a lot more in common with some MMOs than meets the eye, and I really do see it now. I see what they're going for with this game.
It's funny when I typed in Lost Ark to Google, it said, "Do you mean Destiny?" Are you talking about
Destiny? Google.
Google.
Oh man, but yeah, I mean it's been a quality experience, and before this update, I haven't really been paying attention to the story. But this past story with the Exo Stranger, I found myself very much engaged the entire time. Just off the strength of that character alone, the villains were still kind of hit and miss for me, as they've always been with Destiny. But I really like the characterization of the heroes that we meet. I really think they do a really good job in that department. They really give them a lot of personality. Even though your guy doesn't have a lot of personality, the side characters around have a lot. And I think it's to a great benefit. What more can I say? I'm having a great time. I cannot wait for the Witch Queen expansion. I will be no lifing that
Me
as soon
too.
as that comes out. So yeah, hopefully we all are. So
I think we
can't
all
wait
are.
for that.
I'd like to play some Destiny myself too. So,
Hey,
speaking of streamers, because we've all been streaming this week. Well, most of us. The handsome
Don't
ones.
look at me. Yeah, only the handsome ones.
we got you
Handsome
next
ones
week.
have been
Next week.
streaming. You were streaming Crossfire X. Your first impressions. What were your first impressions?
Not good ones.
Oh,
So I was interested in this game when it first was announced. It's actually been out theoretically since I believe 2007 under just the regular Crossfire branding. This is its first release in the US. It is a big game, I believe, in Korea. It's a big multiplayer shooter. It's kind of in line between a Call of Duty and a Counter-Strike. It kind of lies in the middle of that. The multiplayer has been out for a while. What really gave it a lot of credence for me was the fact that Remedy was developing the single player. Remedy, if for those of you who don't know, Remedy is the ones who have made Alan Wake, Quantum Break, Control, games that are known primarily for their narratives. So I was
and
like,
being good. Yeah.
and being good, and being good. But even I was even willing to accept, okay, the gunplay might not be great, but if we get a decent Remedy level story, this might be worth playing. Now, that did not happen at all. I start this game, and the word that comes to mind is generic, unfortunately. This feels like a game that Remedy developed because they developed this game as far as the single player, it seems like from the ground up, because they're using the engine for the single player is a different engine than what's in the multiplayer. So it feels a lot different than the multiplayer. So it's almost like they develop. I don't know how deep their development was in this. I don't know if it was just story writing. I don't know if it was also developing the single player in totality. I don't know how much they were working with Smilegate, the actual studio behind the game. But this seems like a very paint by numbers experience. It seems like a game that was made to fund their future projects. I did not feel the Remedy love here. Unfortunately, it's not a bad story by any means, but it definitely left me thinking I could be playing any Call of Duty campaign and be having a much better time. And I feel like that's a very low bar in terms of video game storytelling. So yeah, it's not a bad game by any means. Like I even said it on my stream, like I'm enjoying myself theoretically. Like I played on the regular difficulty. It seemed like the only time I died was when I was just doing stupid stuff. The gameplay, the AI wasn't really challenging me that way. This is another game that's going to be released that, once the big heavy hitters that come out, we're going to completely forget about this game. No one's going to remember Crossfire X from this year. And I believe that's by design because they released it in the most crowded month in recent video game history. So I don't think that was an accident either. So I can't say I am a big fan of this game, but it could have been worse.
Now, you said this is very popular in Korea. Do you mean North Korea?
No. At least I don't think so. You can't quote me on that.
It's funny because I hear that a lot. A lot of people will use that as like a marker of quality. Like, oh, it's really popular in Korea. It's really popular in South Korea. It's really Seoul loves this game. Like what? Why is North Korea not North Korea? I don't think they know what video games are. Does South Korea just like love every video game?
I mean, they're pretty good at Lost Ark Korean games.
That's true.
They do.
That's why I brought it up because Alfredo said Lost Ark was also a Korean game.
Yeah.
They have a very big PC and mobile game market in Korea.
I mean, that's awesome. Good for them. All of Korea, probably, right? All free. Well, this has been our what have we been playing this week? Now, let us know what you've been playing this week in the comments or in chat, whatever you want to do. And I think it's time for us to move on to our first topic, which I think, because it kind of ties in a little nicely to Thomas's what we've been playing. Specifically, we are going to be talking about Microsoft says Call of Duty is going to stay on PlayStation and maybe be on every console forever. Who wants to start?
I'll start.
Okay.
I felt this way after, like, my first impressions of this deal. I thought Call of Duty was going exclusive, and just after reflection, I just thought there's no way. It's just too much money to be left on the table. You don't pay nearly $70 billion to just basically devolve all that money into Game Pass.
Sure. Well,
like, you spend some for that, but you don't spend the entire thing for that. The majority of it for that.
I'm glad you bring that up because I kind of wanted to seed this conversation a little bit with something specific, which is Brad Smith. I looked a little bit into Brad Smith's vision of a universal app store for games. Do you think that has I'm starting to think that has a place to exist, because the only other comparison really is the App Store or apps on app stores, and it really doesn't hurt Apple's or Microsoft's or Android sales when apps are shared between both platforms. So is there legs to stand on for a universal app store for video gaming?
That's been confusing me, because are we saying, because when we say Microsoft, Android, iOS, I don't know Microsoft's app store. All I know is the Xbox store. And the Xbox store is like, at this moment in time, it wouldn't make sense to put the Xbox store on PlayStation. You know, like,
well,
I like.
I mean, what do you mean by like a universal app store?
Well, we mentioned it. We mentioned it. We mentioned a couple weeks ago. Someone on the podcast mentioned a couple weeks ago the idea of just having Game Pass available on PlayStation. Why not? How does that hurt them in any way?
No, I think it benefits Xbox. I mean, Microsoft.
It benefits Microsoft. It doesn't benefit their console sales, but they've shown a kind of a bird's eye view of the situation that they don't care about that in the long run. They care about developing Xbox as a brand.
As a platform.
Yeah, the long run, they want to get subscribers because they think 10 years from now, consoles won't exist. So they want to get ahead of the game and they want to get people on Game Pass. And I guess you could look at it the other way and say, well, PlayStation could say now it benefits them because then no one would buy an Xbox. If they could put Game Pass on PlayStation, then hey, buy a PlayStation and you have everything. But I think Microsoft was playing the long game.
Well, also with all this news comes the announcement that Microsoft wants Call of Duty on the Switch and other Activision games.
Yeah, that doesn't surprise me, actually. Xbox has been playing this very, we are the players. This is where the players live. Like, we are pro players. So anything that can be seen to, we want everyone to play. Like, that is Xbox's stance. And I mean, to be honest, they've been sticking with that. We've seen Game Pass, where it is, we've been saying, the most incredible deal in gaming, where you can get so many games for such a low price, and that's the benefit of so many gamers. We've seen Microsoft trying to make everything first party on Game Pass day and date. They've been doing very gamer pro
friendly
moves. Yeah, so I don't
pro gamer moves.
Yeah, pro gamer moves, sure. So I definitely don't doubt them when they say, "Oh, we want to put this on Nintendo Switch." Now, whether the Nintendo Switch can handle that's an entirely different question. But I could definitely see it where
Call of Duty,
exactly,
sure.
yeah, they can for sure utilize their cloud gaming services that Nintendo now has. So I could definitely see them doing that. But I do want to say this actually shocked me when this news first came out, because Xbox specifically was tiptoeing around, is Call of Duty going to come to PlayStation after the next 3 games, or aren't they? We're not really going to say. And PlayStation was like, you guys better do it, basically.
Yeah.
And Microsoft has not explicitly said that would happen until now, but they did say for, that they will honor existing agreements as well as extending far past that. Now, technically, they didn't say forever, so there's still a possibility where they pull it back and say, okay, in 10 years, Xbox is gonna have Call of Duty on consoles and PC, no PlayStation. And by then, hopefully, PlayStation is in a better place where they have first-person shooters that could compete with Call of Duty on that end. But it did shock me that they finally said, like, two weeks after they could have easily said, hey, it's going to be available to everyone. No, now they're going to say it. But they still look good because everyone's looking at Xbox going like, good for you, Xbox.
Yeah.
Making sure everyone can still play together.
Yeah. It's very impressive. Does anyone else have any takes on this? Because this is a hard to take in news.
What's more interesting to me than the Call of Duty news is some of the stuff they lead with about how they're going to run their app store, because it's seemingly addressing some of the issues that developers have with PlayStation and others, and also addresses some of the subject of the Epic Apple lawsuit.
Yeah.
Apple,
The
Apple lawsuit.
Apple v Epic. Specifically in this section about fairness and transparency, we will treat apps equally in our app store without unreasonable preference or ranking of our apps or business partners' apps over others, and we will be transparent about rules for promotion and marketing. This specifically feels like PlayStation catch up, and marketing in our app store, and apply these consistently and objectively. There have been quite a lot. I think there was an IGN report actually about indie games kind of being left behind by PlayStation and not understanding how they could possibly promote their game, or like the sentiment being like, you really need to know somebody in PlayStation to get your shit promoted. And then developer choice, this first line: we will not require developers in our app store to use payment systems to use our payment system to process in-app payments. I mean, that was the Epic Apple lawsuit. God, I said that 10 times fast. So it seems like this is interesting because this is a no-lose scenario for Microsoft. They get to proactively make consumer and dev favoring decisions in advance of potential regulation to combat the idea that they need to be broken up because they're becoming too big and because they own a vertical. It's an interesting move. It's also interesting that this news comes after the Bungie acquisition news, in the way that, like, there's the highlighting of Call of Duty being available on other platforms, and not just to the current contracts, which Phil Spencer already mentioned, but beyond, and then coming to Switch as well, which is not, is not stated out and out, but is certainly implied, I think.
Yeah. So you're theorizing that this is really just to, like, shake off the trust busters. They don't want anyone to come looking at them in the future.
I think they have the most to worry about in terms of any antitrust investigation. But I never expected that this would end in anything less than this Activision Blizzard deal going through. I think Microsoft is just, it's in the title, adapting ahead of regulation. We are going to anticipate a problem, and we are going to move ahead of the problem so that the problem never has a chance to rear its head.
Which makes sense considering all of the news about, I think the FCC is already saying that they're going to be looking at the Microsoft acquisition deal specifically because of the monopoly conversation that, Microsoft is too big and they might have a monopoly on the gaming industry because of this giant merger. But yeah, I'm kind of with Ben, where I didn't foresee any problem, but it's smart to get ahead of it in case that there could be anything.
But I think that begs the question. Did you ever expect in all your years of living on this earth that Microsoft would herald in a utopian age of gaming? And B, Do you think that will actually happen? Any of this will stick true for more than maybe 10 years?
Well, Ben said something. They came out and said that after Sony got Bungie. So it's kind of like, hey, we're gonna leave Call of Duty up. Now we hope y'all do the same. But what happens if Sony were to pull Bungie, or if Microsoft were to pull Activision? Then it's just become a war, and they just start pulling all their whatever companies they own. If Microsoft buys Take-Two, they pull Grand Theft Auto, they pull Call of Duty, Sony pulls Bungie.
I don't get the sense that that's where this is going. I don't think
there's
I
too
think,
much money on the line.
Yeah, right. It seems like we're past the point of like, okay, let's buy as many toys as we can and keep them in our sandbox.
Mm-hmm.
It seems like all of these companies are realizing at once we are really only limiting our upside by making sure that you can only get these games on our platforms. And yeah, it might sell the platforms, but how much longer does the platform exist? The platform is like, as a brand, as a digital entity, is worth way more than the box. Sure. So let's get the brand everywhere.
But you don't think they're seeing that this battle like 10 years from now is going to be whether you have like Hulu versus Netflix, PlayStation versus Xbox, and it's going to be content versus content. Which one has the better content? You know?
I mean,
that's kind of what I'm thinking. I don't know.
You're thinking this is content v content?
Yeah, I think in the long haul, I think it is. I think
versus
now
exclusive.
Yeah.
I think in the future you're going to have a Hulu versus Netflix versus Disney Plus, and whoever has the best content is going to ultimately have the more subscribers. You know?
Well, not if Xbox Game Pass is on other platforms. Then that's like that to me is the big thing for me. Where it's like,
and that's what I'm saying. If
it
they're
wouldn't
going to
be,
be
it wouldn't be an X versus X thing anymore because
it would be because
PlayStation had
the Game Pass.
Yeah, but Xbox won't be considered a console at that point.
No, Game Pass. I'm talking about the service Game Pass. Whether it's an app on your smart TV, on your phone, on your PlayStation, on your Xbox, it's the service. They're battling for the subscribers.
Sure.
Like the Game Pass service versus the PlayStation service. And the consoles, just put consoles out the window. Like they don't exist. These are on PC, they're on smart TVs, all kinds of devices. That's what I'm saying.
I
just like Disney Plus, just like Disney Plus, and
I get what you're saying, but I just don't think that PlayStation even thinks they can compete on that level with them. Like I don't think there's anything that PlayStation can develop that can ever be Game Pass.
Well, no, isn't this kind of the opposite though? It's kind of like a diffusion of content. It's getting content out to as many people as they can, because there's really in the content wars, isn't that what matters most? It doesn't. Sure, the Mandalorian's good, but it would be better if it was on Netflix and Hulu. But
look at it, Disney though, they don't do that. Disney doesn't do that. They don't put Mandalorian on Netflix and Hulu. There's a battle for
Xbox
content.
Wants to do that though. They want to put Game Pass
for
on
now.
Everything.
That's right. But you're not.
I don't think for now.
Step.
I think for perpetuity, because I think they want to get out of the console race.
No, but that's what I'm saying though. I don't think you understand what I'm saying. I'm saying that Netflix has theirs on everything. There's a Netflix app on everything. Game Pass wants to be on everything. So the battle would be if Game Pass is on everything, Netflix is on everything, PlayStation Plus or whatever is on everything. So the battle is between the services, not between the consoles. And the content does matter. We know it does because it matters between Netflix and Hulu and Disney Plus. Yeah, Disney Plus doesn't put theirs on everything.
But there's a couple ways to do this, and there's the ways that I think Disney Plus does it this way, where you can only access Disney Plus exclusive shows through Disney Plus subscription, and you can't like buy Blu-rays of them, for instance.
Yeah.
Whereas I think other shows, if I recall correctly, like House of Cards on Netflix. You can buy Blu-rays.
Yeah, I have Daredevil.
I've seen him in Barnes.
I have the Daredevil on Blu-ray.
And there are plenty of other shows where you can watch them on a subscription service and then purchase them a la carte off of iTunes or Apple TV, I guess. So that seems like where Microsoft is headed to me. They never say anywhere that we are not going to include these include Call of Duty in your Game Pass subscription.
Yeah.
I think we can just
Assuming
expect
that's
that,
going to happen.
that Call
Right.
of Duty will be included in your Game Pass subscription. So Call of Duty, part of this, they could have done an exclusive licensing agreement with Activision, but part of this is we can have these Activision Blizzard games available on Game Pass with much less friction.
Guaranteed.
Yeah, but we will still collect all of the sales that we would have otherwise from all of the other platforms.
Mhm.
And we'll also endeavor to expand that reach so that it's available for purchase. We can get, because really the purchase price, like we're thinking too small here. The purchase price of these games is not where the real money is made. It's made on the microtransactions. So they want to get as many people in as many places as possible in the door.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And Sony's 10 live service games.
So that you can buy your map packs, so that you can buy your skins, you know, so you can buy your battle passes.
If it worked for Tencent, it can work for Xbox.
Well, yeah.
Let's
first
be
it worked for
honest.
Apple.
So what is the long game then? I mean, like, if that's all they want to do is just get their content out as many places as possible, then why even have Game Pass? Why not just?
I just don't think that
Put everything on PlayStation. Why not put everything on PlayStation? Why hold Bethesda? Why hold anything? Starfield is an exclusive IP.
I have a theory about that.
I mean, I guess because they're multiplayer games.
I have a theory about all of their acquisitions. Maybe less so than titles and games, which is what everyone's focusing on. It's also talent and technology acquisition. I think people are kind of just sort of assuming that it's titles and games, but I think there's a lot of good talent and technology that they're swooping up, and hopefully will utilize very effectively.
I completely agree.
Why I think this could be a utopian gamer moment, but I don't know.
To answer your question, though, Cole, I do think that is where it's headed, because there's even precedents for Xbox games on other consoles already. So this first happened, I believe, with Ori and the Blind Forest. Like, that came to Nintendo Switch, and it's still on it. It's not on Game Pass. Game Pass isn't even on Nintendo Switch, but you can get that Xbox first-party game on your Nintendo Switch, right on the Nintendo eShop.
So do you think, like, 10 years from now, Xbox will just want to put Halo and everything, just Sony, to have it everywhere? They just want to be everywhere. They want their games everywhere, because I think they want Game Pass everywhere, not their games.
Yeah. I think there's a balance. I think
like a la carte. I think and within Game Pass, but not.
Yeah, they want Game Pass everywhere.
I don't think they want like you to be able to buy a PS5 copy of Halo.
And I personally don't buy this idea that Game Pass is ever going to be on PlayStation. And that's not because of Xbox. That's because of PlayStation.
Oh yeah, no, that would be so dumb.
Hold up, yeah, that's absolutely hold up. Yeah,
PlayStation will have their Game Pass equivalent. I assume. I mean, Spartacus is rumored; it's on the way. So how good that service is, we'll have to see. But there is an idea of competition in this game. This subscription space. So I don't see PlayStation just like opening the doors. It doesn't seem like their style. So I think what we're going to be looking at here is this is the suite of Xbox Game Pass games. When you subscribe to Xbox Game Pass, you can play them on PC, you can play them on Xbox, and you can buy them elsewhere for some games. And then it'll be the same thing for PlayStation. You can play Spartacus on your PlayStation. You can buy PlayStation titles on Steam as well. And things will expand out. It's not going to be like everything everywhere all at once, but within the next, I mean, you have to assume within the next couple of generations, the game console will be less and less valuable as a thing. I mean, we've been saying that forever, but but if game streaming can really take off, right?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
It will. It's just a matter of time. It's just a matter of when. It's going to. It might be 100 years from now, but it will be.
Well,
here
also
one day.
level of accessibility too, where it's like a majority of the world can access cloud gaming. Like that's when we reach that point in time, we'll know.
Yeah, and that'll be a while.
Very.
I feel like
it is funny that we're even having this conversation, because we've mentioned it before that Xbox used to be a really sneaky, stingy gaming company. They used to really latch onto all their content. But I remember the first time I realized that Xbox was moving into a more let's get everything out there and be really open situation. And it was Banjo-Kazooie coming to Smash. Because I remember an interview with Craig Duncan from Rare, and he said the reason Xbox was okay with it was because of Minecraft. Minecraft opened up the idea to Xbox because they put it on, they got it on Switch and it sold like hotcakes. And they were like, well, why do we have a bad relationship with Nintendo? We should have a good relationship with Nintendo because they can put our games out there.
That reminds me. Do y'all remember? I think we talked about it on this podcast, and I think I was the one that brought it up. So Xbox used to have a policy where if there was a game that was released on another platform first as a timed exclusive or whatnot, they would not they would not bring the game to Xbox.
Right.
That used to be their policy, and it hit them with it was a few big games that they would not bring over to Xbox because they were released on PlayStation first with time exclusive. That was back in like the 360 days. That's crazy. That's crazy.
This is really
how harsh they used to be.
Some weird developing news, and I assume this is going to be a continuing news story. Like every couple of months, we're going to get some weird update from Xbox's strange acquisitions and strange practices with Game Pass.
Well, look, they're becoming so consumer friendly. And they've been riding this ship, and we've talked about it. We've talked about it when we first started this, and we were like, they're trending in the right direction, and Sony is becoming. Sony's not. They're not doing that, or they haven't been. Maybe they're trying to now, but I don't know.
Only because they have to.
No, viewers at home, let's be clear. Cole's right. Dukes of Gaming has been talking about Xbox's more friendly attitude to gamers since the very genesis of this podcast.
Yes,
these blokes convinced me because I used to be a Sony stan.
8 years.
I used to be a Sony stan forever. I was like Sony all the way. I'm never going to buy an Xbox. But then I started thinking about it. Do I want a PS5 or an Xbox? I don't want a PS5 anymore.
I bought an Xbox the day they bought Activision. I just got caught in the hype. I just got crazy. I was like dizzy. I was blacked out. I went to Best Buy before you knew it. I had an Xbox and I was playing Sea of Thieves.
Yeah, I still remember when they announced Game Pass, and I remember everybody going like, "This is going to be lame. They're going to have the lamest games. This is going to be a failed experiment." And now you're telling me they're going to have Call of Duty day one on Game Pass? Crazy. No. In addition to everything else that they already have.
Look, PlayStation was consumer friendly on that E3 in 2013 when they came out there. Oh, this is how you trade games on PlayStation.
Yeah.
Trade them like this. You know what? And they blew Xbox out the water for the foreseeable future. For the next
did Xbox get booed?
They did.
Y'all, I was jumping around my living room. I was like going crazy. It was incredible.
That probably rattled them. It did. So
PlayStation was consumer friendly because they were playing catch up. Because even though they ultimately won that generation, they did not control that generation like Xbox 360 did. And then now that they have the power, they're leading the ship. They're leading the whole industry. Now I feel like they're tightening. They're tight, and Xbox is in that situation. They're becoming consumer friendly, and Sony is becoming like I don't know, a little bit overconfident.
Hey, well, all I can say is stay tuned to the Dukes of Gaming. We're going to be covering this forever because we're fully invested now, and.
I'm a PlayStation fanboy, by the way. I'll never ever like any other console besides PlayStation.
We're all rooting.
I'll play a PlayStation 2 any day, but
I got to be hard on it though.
We haven't mentioned the worst company when it comes to player rights and power, and that's Nintendo. And I think that brings us into our next topic, which is the woohoo. Yahoo! Who can do the best Yoshi real quick? Do your best Yoshi.
Yeah, I can't even do
do a Mario.
I can't even picture.
I got a Mario though.
Yahoo! That was pretty good. That was pretty good.
Something like that.
You're right.
It's a me Mario.
You're a kung fu master, and
you said do a me Mario.
No, it's a me Mario.
It's a me Mario.
I can't do that. I gotta practice. All
right. Well, let's talk about the Nintendo Direct while you're practicing. I want you to practice. Go out. Actually, real quick, don't go out because I'm gonna actually There's a lot of stuff to talk about in this Nintendo Direct. A lot of it we can probably spend 2 minutes on. So I will start with the least exciting thing. Alfredo, do you want to talk about Fire Emblem Warriors?
Oh my god.
It's your
I
students.
knew you were gonna call me out, and I completely agree. I completely agree. Not what I was hoping for. So yeah, in the Nintendo Direct, they did announce a new Fire Emblem, and unfortunately, it's not the one I wanted. It's not a
Dynasty
tactical RPG.
Warriors.
It's a Dynasty Warriors clone where you're just what was that other Zelda game? Hyrule Warriors.
Hyrule Warriors.
It's
That
but
was
for
all right.
Fire
That was
Emblem.
cute. That was cute.
Well, that's what it is for Fire Emblem. And they even said it comes with like an alternate story than what they actually tell in Fire Emblem Three Houses, which I'm a little bit skeptical on because Fire Emblem Three Houses, great story, magnificent. So it does make me intrigued as to what they have, but yeah, it's just a Dynasty Warrior game, so it doesn't really do anything for me.
Is this the same developer as Persona 5 Strikers?
That I don't know.
Oh yeah,
Ooh, that's
I
a
don't
good
know that.
question. I know it's
Because
from the
as
same
far as
ones
I
who made all the
understand-
other ones.
Yeah, as far as I understand, Persona 5 Strikers, and I've not played Persona 5 Strikers, but
Me either.
as far as I understand it, it's a direct sequel to Persona 5, and as far as the story is concerned, it is way better than it has any right to be.
Huh.
So it may well be a
Okay.
worthy sequel story-wise to Fire Emblem.
But
even
the
though it
thing
doesn't
is,
share the
it's
gameplay.
not a sequel though. It's a retelling, like an
Okay.
alternate telling of the story, is what they said in the trailer. So that's why I'm a little bit skeptical.
Gotcha.
But maybe
Well,
knowing that, maybe I have to try it.
Yeah, the
Can I
way
ask
Fire
a-
Emblem Three Houses ends, it couldn't really have a sequel in that
Right.
style.
Yeah.
So yeah, with all the characters featured and everything. So yeah, it's
Mhm.
definitely either a retelling or a pre. You said it's a retelling, right?
Yeah, the trailer said it was a retelling, like an alternate version of events that happened.
Yeah. As somebody who finished the game, I'm not excited for it, especially
Yeah.
not for 60, and it's never going to come down in price. So
well, can I ask a question, Alfredo, real quick?
Of course.
How? Because how does Nintendo advertise Fire Emblem? How do people like Fire Emblem
Well,
when
they
Nintendo
don't.
doesn't advertise Fire Emblem? Why is it
They-
so popular?
So it only recently in the West, you don't really have to advertise it over not here over in when it's not America, because everybody knows what Fire Emblem is in Japan. Like it's been there, it's super popular over there. Here it's a different story because Fire Emblem didn't really get popular until Fire Emblem Awakening, which was on the 3DS, I believe,
Yeah, it
or
was
the DS,
yeah,
one of them.
3DS.
yep.
So that's when it really started getting popular and people started taking notice in America or in the West. And they don't do a ton of advertising, but I do remember they did for Three Houses specifically because it was the whole, oh, this is kind of like Hogwarts. Don't you want to be in this kind of setting? So their commercials were kind of along those lines, and it was kind of already popular from Awakening, so it ended up doing really well. And it's a
Well,
great franchise.
All right, cool. Well, it is actually Omega Force who did work on Fire Emblem. Persona 5 Strikers. So
Okay,
there could be something there.
good to know.
Well, let's move on to the other thing that probably will have one of the many things that no one will have anything to say about. Splatoon 3. Who cares?
Nobody.
I have a okay. Can you please tell me what was up with that music?
I have
in the
no-
trailer?
I have no idea. Their music is wild.
It was not good.
No, it was not good at all.
And that trailer did not sell me on that game. I heard Splatoon is good, but it just looked like it was not fun. The music was bad. I didn't know what was happening. It was kind of a mess for lack of a better word.
It looked like DLC to me. Like it looked
It
like
does-
DLC to
does look
Splatoon
DLC.
2.
A DLC
Because
mode.
I played Splatoon 2 maybe I'd like to say like 30 hours, maybe like a multiplayer. So I had a decent enough time with it. This doesn't look like anything
Yeah.
that's too spectacular.
I really liked Splatoon when it first came out on the Wii U, and that's about it. I think the franchise has already outlived its welcome. Unfortunately, it's another one of those Nintendo franchises that's just gonna dwindle off in a couple years. But that said, there is a very loyal fan base like Fire Emblem. There is a very rabid fan base for Splatoon.
Hopefully it
Good for them.
delivers.
Hopefully it
Good for them.
delivers, but it does look like DLC. All right, let's move on because who cares? Wii Sports 3, the third Wii Sports game on the Switch, Nintendo Switch Sports. I don't know.
This is
why?
the only game that caught my eye.
Aw.
This is the only game that caught my eye from the Direct. Weirdly,
Okay.
just because I do have incredible nostalgia for Wii Sports.
Oh, I think we all do.
We all do.
Yeah, and I would love to play some more bowling.
So do
Me
all
too.
our parents and grandparents.
Yeah.
Yep, exactly.
So yeah, I think I might actually get this one.
Well, that's what I
Yeah.
was thinking the entire time when I saw when that bizarrely showed up on my screen, Wii Sports 3 or whatever. I was like, oh yeah, Cole can't stop praising the Wii for how it introduced the older generations to gaming. And I was just thinking about that. I'm like, why now? Why now in the Switch's life?
Exactly.
You know, I
It's
feel like
such
the
an
only
intensive
way.
game, you know. It took a long. It took a while to develop. Like it took a really long time.
Really?
The thing is, too, is that this is not a pack-in. That was a pack-in game. So
Yeah.
everybody had it, and it was, you know, this is. I feel like this is just not going to be that popular because of that. But
I don't know. I feel
I
the
don't know.
opposite.
Ring Fit
maybe.
Adventure wasn't a pack in, and that
Yeah.
that is like a top 15. I think top 10 selling Switch game.
And
So
this
there
one
is a
has the
market for
nostalgia
that.
factor.
yeah, it
on
does
top
have
of it.
nostalgia.
Yeah,
Like
I
with-
think it's going to sell really well. I think it's going to do. I think it's going to do a lot of numbers. I
Agreed.
would venture to say it's going to be a top 10 Switch game by the end of the life cycle.
I'm gonna go
agree.
the opposite way. I doubt that. I think it'll sell very well, but I just don't think it's the right time in the Switch's lifespan to bring this game out. I really don't.
I think it could go viral in a way that
I
we
think so,
like the
too.
original like Wii game did before there was like big social media. Now there is big social media.
All right. If it has really good online, which it won't because it's Nintendo.
Okay, fair.
I yield.
just-
I yield.
The lag on the badminton game. I hit
Oh
it.
my god.
The only way I could see it going viral though with this is if it was part of Nintendo Switch Online. It was just like it's free. It's free. It's a free game.
See, that is a missed opportunity. That's a good point. That's a very good point.
Mhm.
Sure.
can't
Okay,
wait.
so you know what? I can't wait either. I think we're all kind of weirdly excited for this Wii
Yeah, well,
Sports
I am
3
excited about it. I
or
ain't
whatever
lying.
it's
Get the
called. What's
Everberries
hold
for
on,
real
real
with this
quick.
one.
I'm probably gonna get it day one.
The actual name is Nintendo Switch Sports.
Hey,
not Wii
bowling
Sports
should be
3, yeah.
fine on online though. Bowling should be fine, right?
Yeah,
That's all we need.
Theoretically, yeah, but it's Nintendo.
yeah. Let's I'm excited for the Metroid Dread DLC. Alfred, you
mode.
should be too because they have easy mode. Yeah, I was gonna say.
And that boss rush
Um,
mode. That boss rush mode
yeah,
actually
that looks
seems really
good.
good too. I might replay
That's
it.
that's
just for
that's yeah. It's just is that already out? That's already out. Yeah.
Yeah. I think
yeah,
so.
I think it was
Yep.
updated after the show.
Mhm.
That's right. Yeah. Speaking of something that dropped right after the show, Earthbound 2 and Earthbound 1, Earthbound 2 and Earthbound 1, they put a Earthbound name on Mother 1 for some reason and didn't drop Mother 3 again.
I thought a lot of people were very upset about that.
Of course. And you know what the worst part is? Reggie Fils-Aimé isn't even there to blow anyone up for even bringing up Mother 3. So come
I
on.
was happy because I didn't know any better, and I still haven't played those games. So
You know,
Yeah.
I think you should. I think Earthbound's a very, very good game.
gotta get
But
on
I'm
it.
not going to play it again. Not going to play it again. I've played it so many
I have a
times.
question for you, Clams.
Yeah.
Is Mother like we talk about Mother 3 like it's the bastion of all video. It's like what we're all waiting for in video. is it worth this level of hype? Like, is there any way this thing releases and it even remotely lives up to the hype that's been created?
No.
It's kind of like Half-Life
No.
3, right?
I
Like
feel
we're all
like it's
waiting
even
for
worse
it.
than that, though. 'Cause I feel like we
No,
all
I-
know that's not coming out. Like,
No, it's a
Mother
little
3
bit
is something
become
that-
Will
it's
it
a-
come
it's
out?
it's a meme at this point. It's a meme at this point. The history of the Earthbound and Mother games is so weird, so creative, and so unique that I think a little bit of a fantasy has been strewn about it because there's so much that people don't know and so many weird things that people know. I mean, the creator of the games was influenced by cults and occultism and old B movies and McDonald's, and he's got such a weird list of ideas in his head that he put into this game. So I think this weird mystique has been formed around these games that. No, I don't think Mother 3 does live up to the hype. I've played Mother 3. It is not as charming to me as Earthbound, but I think people like the characters more. I think a lot of the crazy Earthbound fans find the characters in Mother 3 more fun because they do a little bit more interaction with the world than the characters in Mother 2, which basically don't say much. They don't have the strongest characters in the world, but I don't think that's too big of a problem because the world that you're exploring in Earthbound is so juicy with ideas that Mother 3 doesn't really go. And the Mother 3 was originally going to be on the 64. So there's also that, and then it ended up on the Game Boy Advance and never came to the US. So there's this whole mystery to the story. No, it does
not.
It's
a meme of video game.
It's a meme of video games. And I was honestly, I was hoping that they were going to announce a new Mother game, but that's not happening. That's never happening. I would have.
I feel like they set the. I feel like they set the table. I feel like they set the table to have a surprise announcement. Like, cause I feel like it's so random to put like at this, because all the other Nintendo Switch online updates for SNES have just been little press releases.
Yeah.
And it's like, this is the one? Like, this is the one y'all chose to put in the direct? I'm like, I feel like there's something more there. I feel like we're getting another announcement.
Maybe one day I would actually probably have a heart attack and die. And that's not because I'd be surprised. That's just because of my diet. But it would be pretty great regardless. Let's move on to DLC for Mario Kart 8.
I'm excited about this.
My jaw dropped when I heard this announcement. Not because of the DLC. Well, partly because of the DLC, but at the end when they said through 2024, I think is what they said.
2023.
Yeah, or 2023, and I was like, well, guess I'm not getting Mario Kart 9 for a long time.
Nope. I think Mario Kart 8 is perfect. I don't think we need a Mario Kart 9. I mean, because Mario Kart 8 is perfect. What would you do different in Mario Kart 9?
I know what the rumors say. The rumors say
open world. You go to the different Nintendo property. I know I have a bunch of ideas for Mario Kart 9. There's a lot of things. Like, I'm not gonna act like Mario Kart 8 is not a great game, but it's a great game. Like Grand Theft Auto 5 is a great game. Where it's like this game came out damn near a decade ago.
Mm-hmm.
Cool, we're just updating it.
We need something new.
Updating it over and over again. You know, right. Like, this is a Grand Theft Auto of Nintendo.
I want a Mario Kart open. I just don't know about it.
No,
I don't.
I'll tell you what the rumors are for Mario Kart 9.
Do tell.
And I think we talked about it. I don't remember. It's going to be Smash. It's Smash with cars. Because Smash is they're never going to make another Smash. Allegedly, they've said that.
Couldn't they just add characters to Mario Kart 8 as extra DLC?
Yes, but I think they want to do something a little bit more showy.
It's got to be called Mario Kart Ultimate, though, is the thing called.
Probably. Yeah.
That were to
Nintendo Kart. It would be called Nintendo Kart.
Nintendo Kart. Yeah, no, I think the idea is the next racing game Nintendo drops is going to have characters from Zelda, because they've been doing that DLC with the Isabelle from Animal Crossing and Link and I think the next logical step for them, now that they don't have that linchpin of Smash on their systems, because Sakurai just doesn't want to make one. He's sick and tired. They asked him to put Minecraft Steve in the game, and he said, "I hate you. I do not want to program this. This is impossible. Don't make me do this." A lot,
though. I feel like I've heard that literal headline like 20 times in my life.
Yes, Sakurai.
I never rule it out with him, man.
Nah, he's a moody man. He's a moody man who made a great game, but I think Nintendo's most obvious step forward for the Mario Kart franchise is just to put F-Zero in it, put Metroid in it, obviously F-Zero and put Zelda, put Animal Crossing, put Pokemon, put everyone, just go crazy. So that's is the DLC for Mario Kart 8 just tracks? Because I don't know. I haven't played the Mario Kart app game.
It's just
It's
tracks.
just
It's
tracks.
all,
Yeah.
it's all the tracks from the previous game.
So it's basically Mario Kart Ultimate. If you added all these characters
with the
talking
different
about, you have
courses.
all the old tracks and courses and.
I don't think
Kart.
it's every single track. I think they're hand selecting the best tracks from each of the
Gotcha.
games. But
Gotcha.
it's still like 48 in total, so it's a good bit.
Yeah,
from each
I
one.
assume 48 was the just total of the tracks because that's a lot of tracks.
Yeah, that's a lot of
So-
tracks. And they're doing the Smash thing where it's coming in increments and
Yep.
yeah. Oh
Mhm.
well.
But at least we have another kart racer that I can play in the meantime that's free to play, which was also announced. Did you guys catch that one? The Disney.
Yeah, the shitty one. The Disney
Oh
one.
yeah,
The Disney.
yeah.
I forget what it's called.
I thought that was going
Disney
to be a
Mario Kart.
Kingdom Hearts and it would be cloud version only.
Oh.
And
When I was watching that
I was
trailer, I was like,
shocked.
turn the brightness up. Like
that
everything
looked
looks super
horrible.
dark.
No,
Like,
it's
that-
pretty.
that
yeah.
looked worse than Pokemon Legends Arceus.
No, I wouldn't go that far. But it
I
was
would go
pretty
that
good.
far.
It was pretty.
Mickey Mouse's ears weren't round. Mickey Mouse's ears weren't round.
I thought they were pretty round.
No,
they were round
no,
enough.
they were hexagon.
Disney Speedstorm. That's what it is called. Disney Speedstorm.
I don't want to talk about this. Let's move on.
that will die. That will die a very lonely death.
I will play it because it's free to play. I'll try it out.
That's fair. No Man's Sky is coming to the Switch. Will it work?
No.
Cloud gaming, maybe.
No, it's an actual like.
It's
on-
an actual
Oh,
game.
really?
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
an actual game. I
Why?
think it will work.
Gosh,
I think it will work.
Why?
Why will it work?
I don't have an answer.
Yeah, why do you think it will work?
Because I've seen bad and good ports. I think that Hello Games would not at this stage release a bad port of that game. I more trust in Hello Games than the actual Switch.
Okay.
Hello Games,
That's fair.
besides the initial launch, has pretty much made a redemption arc of their studio. I don't think they want just like to release it on the last console you need to release it on. It's a shit show. I just don't think that's going to be a thing. And we've seen Switch have games like Doom. We've seen like Witcher 3.
Oh,
We've seen
shit,
a lot
I forgot
of games.
Doom was on the Switch.
Yeah, like there's a lot of games that even though they're locked at 30 frames, like they still run well. So I think that's the ceiling of how well this game can do. I think it's going to hit that.
Has anyone played Dune on the Switch real quick? Is it good? How is it?
Yeah, it's fine. It's fine. Like
Okay.
it has the novelty of because like you shouldn't play it on your TV. I don't play that on your TV.
What is it?
Yeah, just
Would you play?
Doom.
Doom.
Oh, Doom.
Yeah, like
Sorry, did I say
playing-
Dune?
I
thought
think
that's
you
what
did, but I
said.
know
I
what you
think
meant.
I
I know
said
what you meant.
Dune. I've been thinking about the book, you know.
What about Witcher
The book-
3? Has any of y'all played Witcher 3 on Switch?
I did
beat Witcher 3
did
on
play
it.
Witcher
I
3.
beat it on there. It's a great experience.
You
Really?
beat it on Switch? Wow.
Yeah, I had a great experience on it. It's
But you know what? I forgot it was on the Switch. I played
I
it
feel
on
like
the Switch.
that's a
I forgot
game
it was
that
on the
you-
Switch.
I feel like you want that game when you're on your PS4 or PS5, like on the big TV, though.
Mm-hmm.
it was fun. Like I thought, like I didn't play it like those type of games. That's why I like having them portable
Yeah.
because it's cool to play those type of games on the run. Like if
Sure.
I'm at home, no, because I can see all the cutbacks that they had to make. When I'm on my like portable screen, can't really see them much, and I'm playing it portably. So I think
No,
No
I
Man's
mean-
Sky could reach that.
I meant like you didn't want to play Witcher 3 on your PS4? Just
I
with the-
did when it first came
better
out, and then I
graphics?
just I dropped it.
Hmm.
And so I was just like, "Hey, it's on Switch now."
It was
I
a
think
long
I'd rather
game.
play it on there.
Can't blame you.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, now that it's basically confirmed that Halo's coming to the Switch, you know, we'll have to get used to it. Yeah, I'm kind of excited to play it. I'll be honest. I don't
60?
think it's gonna.
Ooh.
Oh shoot! You
Ooh,
you
he
shot
got
me in
ya.
the heart. Ah,
He got you.
shot me in the heart and the wallet.
I don't think there's any way that's
Um,
60. That's crazy.
I think it's gonna be 60.
It's
Yeah.
Nintendo. When there's a will, there's a way with that company. Man.
Well, that's everything that's important except for Kirby.
I was
Are
about to
you
say,
excited, more excited, or less excited after this trailer for Kirby?
Mouth mode is all I have to say.
Mouth mode is pretty funny. It's pretty
When
funny.
when he ate the car and was driving
Yep.
the car with his mouth, I was
When
like,
he
you know
ate-
what? I might pre-order today.
If it gets
Actually
good
looks
reviews, I'm
compelling.
going to get it. That'd be a good game for my kids to play. So
Yeah.
if it's got good reviews, I'll definitely get it.
I don't know. This kind of looks like the Ape Escape game that I've wanted for a while now.
It looks
So,
like
I'm
Mario
gonna look
Galaxy
it
to
up.
me. Like it reminds me a lot of Mario Galaxy, and that's one of my favorite Switch games of all time. So if it can hit even close to that, I'm all in.
Oh yeah.
It'll be my first
I
baby game.
think again, Sakurai is a pro. He does not skimp out on games. Like he put his heart and soul into Smash. It ruined him as a person, but he worked tirelessly to make those games as competitive, as fun, and as replayable as they are. And his real love is Kirby. He loves Kirby to death. So if he's going to put this out, he's not going to take any shortcuts. He's going to put out a good game.
Looks amazing. I can't wait.
So fingers crossed. Is there anything else from the Nintendo Direct anyone wants to talk about? Because I don't think so. Portal.
I do.
Oh, okay.
No, not Portal. I love Portal, but I'm not gonna replay that on Switch.
Xenoblade Chronicles 3.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that.
No.
Oh,
There's another one.
No.
I think I know what Thomas is going for.
So
Mario
that was
game?
a game. Oh, what?
Advance Wars?
A Mario game? Mario?
No, you know what? Yeah, actually, there's two
Oh,
games.
that's
yeah,
what I was
Marvel
thinking.
Yeah, I
Strikers.
forgot about Strikers.
It's
I did
that.
too, but
Strikers.
And it's soccer?
That's almost my most anticipated
Yeah.
because Mario Strikers on GameCube. That's the best sports game they've ever released.
Yeah.
I
Well,
love
that
'cause
tennis
it's the
game,
most unique.
they released a couple years ago. That tennis game they put out, that was a damn good tennis game.
Oh, I
It
heard
was
that
cool.
was bad.
It was
It
really
wasn't-
fun.
It was not bad, but it wasn't as good as the one on GameCube. Like the one on GameCube, I loved. This one was a little different than that. I didn't like the changes they made.
That GameCube era of Mario sports games was golden.
Yeah.
So
And I think the Strikers is the best one because Strikers had its own personality. There was violence. You know, like I feel like Nintendo is always like straight away from like their characters like hurting each other besides Smash. You know, it seems like, you know, they like when you're playing soccer, when you're playing I think they had a baseball game.
Baseball.
When they had like a tennis game. It seems real friendly environment. Strikers is aggressive as hell. Like I love Strikers. And it had like a very stylized style to it. Makes sense. I was hoping that they're gonna do Strikers again. They keep that style. And they doubled down. They doubled down completely. Yeah. I'm so excited. This day.
You know what was funny when I was watching this trailer, and the mode where they had maybe all of the modes, but they had a mode specifically where it was a giant ball. Maybe I'm thinking about Wii, where they had a giant ball and they were like kicking into the goals. I was like, this looks like Rocket League, but for people.
That's all I was thinking about was Rocket
That was
League.
Wii Sports. No, that was the Wii Sports thing. And I thought
I
thought of Cole. I was like, oh, Cole.
Yeah,
love that.
about to. I was like, hey, this is kind of incredible.
Yeah. But yeah, Strikers looks like it's going to be like it looks exactly what I wanted from it. So hopefully, you know, the whole game lives up to that. It wasn't the game I was talking about.
All right.
I saw a game on there. It was a re-release of a game that came out, I believe, in the early 2000s called Live a Live.
1994.
Wow.
1994. Okay, it's older than I thought. So they're doing
that did look good.
And it looks like it has the same art style as Octopath Traveler, which I love. Yeah. I love that art style. The fact that they're implementing it in more games, I was like, just seeing that game and knowing it's a remake of something, I'm like, wow, like
3D pixel
all
art,
the old games. I want this for every single old game. Like, just do it in that style. So I'm happy I'm happy to see a new RPG that looks really good. And it's gonna be on Switch. I'm really excited for that.
Yeah. And is that the game they're releasing the original story text adventure version for? Or is that something else?
That's Chrono Cross.
That's Chrono Cross, right? They're releasing the text story adventure version of Chrono Cross.
That is coming out too, isn't it? I forgot. How that's coming out before Chrono Trigger is beyond me.
They don't have their eggs in the right baskets. But that's Nintendo. Again, if we know anything about Nintendo, they make Mario. So, and with that, this has been the Dukes of Gaming podcast. I'd like to give a big shout out to all my fellow Dukes. Thanks for everything this evening. You've all been beautiful and great and wonderful. Thanks for streaming. Remember to tune into our streams. Whenever you see that little notification pop up on your phone, boom, Dukes of Gaming are streaming. Click it right away. No time to waste. Watch us, enjoy us, engage with us, all that. And if you like us, you can give us a follow, give us a like, and send us a nice email. Ask your questions. What do you want to know about us, or what games we like? And nope, that's it. Have a great night. This has been the Dukes of Gaming.